The Highway of Heroes Tree Campaign supports the planting of 2 million trees along the 401 between CFB Trenton and the Coroner's Office in Toronto. 175 kilometers of otherwise what would just be asphalt, a beautifully treed highway to honor our fallen.
You see everything that's going to happen to you, and you say there is no way you are ever going to get through it.
Then our ship was sunk, and I spent 7 days with 2 of my pals on the rubber life raft until we were picked up by a British minesweeper.
We hadn't gone maybe 100 yards after that, and bam, our tank got hit, and it didn't burn. It knocked out the motors, and there was bullets whizzing past my head. There were snipers, I guess.
I've always regretted what happened because my last conversation with Rick was an argument, because my sniper team was in support of his company and I needed resupply and I needed his help and he was busy. And we had a bit of an argument, and then the next day I'm putting him in a body bag during the battle. For me, to help with a little bit of closure, to plant a tree would be a great tribute.
It was a group of nameless people who began to stand on bridges, beginning on a bridge in Cobourg when Canada was involved in the Afghan conflict. And we were repatriating the bodies of those fallen in CFB Trenton and driving down the highway, and people just showed up on a cold January morning with a Canadian flag, and they just stood quietly and reflecting on the meaning of this experience.
This really is Canada, and nobody asked them to be there. They were all along the bridges.
Members of the Canadian Forces come from all communities across Canada, from the farthest in the north, east and west, right down to the US border.
Me, myself, I haven't served, but they've put their lives on the line on a consistent basis, so I think it's really important that you take the time to support individuals who've done that and made that sacrifice.
And for too long we've forgotten about our Canadian veterans, I believe. And I think this is a great way to show them and their families that we care and remember who they are.
To see the young students out here, passionate, eager to get their hands dirty in order to support this initiative, that's very touching indeed.
And the whole thing is kind of rolled out from there. What started out as an environmental idea ended up becoming an idea to honor Canada's war dead and our fallen.
By acting as a permanent memorial, and what a great thing for parents to explain their kids as they're driving down the highway, why are there a series of big trees spaced equidistant apart to commemorate the 117,000 soldiers who paid the ultimate price. I think it's a magnificent idea, and quite frankly, how can I help?
Canadians are repatriated. Their bodies are repatriated at CFB Trenton, driven to the coroner's office. Let's make sure that that is landscaped so that it looks beautiful. Let's make this a work of art, a work of living art.
As these trees are planted and grow, perhaps in a way the spirit of the soldiers that they honor will remain connected with each other through the roots of these trees.
Soldiers like to be remembered, especially after they've fallen, and their families like to have them remembered. So this idea of memorializing them through setting up rows of trees alongside the Highway of Heroes is a really good one.
If we can plant trees and help the environment and leave a living monument that could last hundreds of years to the fallen, I can't see how that's not a win-win.
I think it's a beautiful way to honor those who have passed, those who are serving, and also give back to the planet.
You know, monuments you see, you drive by, you forget about they're there, but you'll never forget these trees as you drive by.
It's certainly a beautiful way to remember anyone, is planting something that's going to live for years and years and years.
But those trees, it's living. And I think it's going to be better than any concrete monument.
For details, go to hohtribute.ca.